taxes now require therapy for Gen Z. I mean, this is getting out of hand. I want to be clear. See, when I record more frequently, I'm in more of a rhythm. All right. And again, this is not as early as I did the last two episodes ago, whatever it was. But it's still 6:30 in the morning. I go to the gym, got to go to work. It's all these crazy things. All right, y'all, 25%. And oh yeah, why did I say this? We going to Old Faithful, good Old Faithful CNBC here. 25% of Gen Zers say they'll need a therapist to deal with tax filing stress, anxiety, depression, self-deletion. My goodness. Now, taxes do cause stress and anxiety, sure. Maybe even, yes, taxes cause all those things. However, Gen Zers, being due to their age, are likely in a situation where they have the easiest tax filing situation. Most of them probably just have W-2. Some of them, they probably have maybe a higher percentage of spitballing here of people who are doing more, what's that type of work that they call like Uber and things like that, and DoorDash? Whatever, gig work. There we go, gig work, gig economy. Where so maybe they might be more 1099, but we're going to get into this article to see, what type of information they need to get together. Because a lot of Gen Zers say they're not making no money. So if you're not making that much money, what's the issue with filing your taxes? Make sure you're filing them, by the way. This is published April 1st, 2024. And this is articles by Annie Probert. We look, y'all, we making progress on pronouncing these authors' names. A woman planning a budget. Hey, shout out to this woman planning this budget. We need that. Anyways, taxes aren't enjoyable for people. Taxes are enjoyable for who? I don't even know taxes are enjoyable for the IRS. Anyway, taxes aren't enjoyable for people of any age, but they can be particularly stressful for younger generations, many of whom may have never filed before. I want to be clear. I'm assuming this is going to be talking about people over the age of 18. Let me see what Gen Z range is. Right now it's saying they're between the ages of 12 and 27. So people between, we can just call it 12 and 27. I mean, who knows when you start working, but they're saying the youngest is a 6th grader, the oldest is a 27-year-old. If you're over 18 and you haven't filed your taxes yet, you have your McDonald's job in high school, whatever it was. Anyways, in fact, 1 in 4 Gen Z taxpayers said they'll need a therapist to deal with the stress of tax filing season, according to a Cash App taxes survey. I would say Cash App is actually a good source for Gen Zers as far as sourcing information from a survey perspective. But I want to be clear. Mental health is very real. You don't have to explain it to me. But the crutch, I believe, or the excuse is, becoming for some people, which I would believe this survey might be, a lot of people might fall in that category for this survey. When we get into the stress of tax filing season, if you have one job, you are waiting for 2 pieces of paper. If you have insurance through your employer, which a lot of Gen Z is probably going to be, half for getting insurance through their employer, half of them are going to be on their parents' insurance. For those of them on their parents' insurance, they're, waiting just for one W-2 form, which my guess now is you can print a lot of this stuff out online. If not, you're still waiting for it, but it doesn't take that long to get your W-2. Just one W-2 usually comes, early February and gives you 2 months to put that information in. And now the software for all these TurboTax, you can put in the information, the employer identification number is whatever it is, no pull up. Now they import everything in for your W-2. Taxes are not that complicated for probably most people in this Gen Z age range. All right. Additionally, though, 54% said filing taxes has either brought them to tears in the excuse me. Additionally, 54% said filing. I shouldn't be laughing. It said 54% has said they brought them to tears in the past year, or they're expecting to cry. They're expecting to cry this year when they file the taxes. That's over half. That's crazy. More than a coin flip. Richard Pianoforte, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, managing director of tax at Fiduciary Trust International, is surprised that the number isn't high. What? Richard is saying he believes the number should be higher. Richard is saying he has children in the age group, Gen Zers, and I don't think they're prepared for it. School doesn't prepare them. School doesn't prepare me for taxes either. School should prepare you for taxes, but hey, we pay tax dollars for school, right? School doesn't prepare you for them being taxes, and it's totally understandable. He says it's different to stress, but to need a therapist, Come on now. I mean, at some point in time, we got to be sick. We got to be like, I think we might be reaching a little bit. Oh my goodness. Even figuring out which documents you need to file can be anxiety inducing, with 62% of first time filers saying they aren't sure where to get their W-2s or 1099s. Good. So like I was saying, I'm not so again, I wouldn't say there's no issue with Gen Zers being more stressed at this age range. Let's just call it 18 to 27. So we're talking about legal adults than the previous generations, because more of them probably on 1099s. And so that confusion there. But to need a therapist, come on, which is what this article is about, saying that a quarter of them need a therapist. There's only 54% saying they need to cry. They 54% saying they have cried over the past year, or they are expecting to cry. I don't expect, if it's not a funeral, I'm not expecting to cry at anything. Maybe if the Chargers win Super Bowl, because I've already accepted that they'll never win Super Bowl in a lifetime. So maybe that might get me. Anyway, make sure you know what documents you have. Piano Forte says, I think that's the biggest issue when you ask younger folks, did you get a 1099 from your bank? Sometimes I don't even know what that is. 1099 interest, the 1099-INT from the bank. I would say most people don't have money. Okay, regardless of their income, most people don't have money in the bank. So in banks, unless you're doing, a high yield savings at like Ally, one of these online only places, or you might have a CD or something like that. But most people in this age range, is 12 to 27, likely aren't banking somewhere where they're going to get enough interest based off the interest rate that the bank is offering for their savings account, and or they don't even have enough money in the account. So even if they do keep money in the account, they're not going to get a 1099. I keep a few $1,000s in there for our bills account, and I still don't get a 1099 for my PFI. I get a 1099 from Ally, where we have, our emergency savings, but I don't get a 1099 where my paycheck gets deposited and I keep the bills money in there, because the interest isn't, one, it's in a checking account. It's not even in the savings. I don't have any money in the savings account. It's like $8 something there. 5 of that, what is it, $8 in there? It's probably 13. 5 of that is, the membership fee that you got to have in there to keep it open. So I would say most Gen Zers aren't even going to get a 1099. Now, knowing what it is, different conversation. Gen Z's tax document checklist. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go over things that Gen Z needs to prepare for. And I have this myself. See, the one thing millennials give pass because, depends. But Gen Z gets no excuse. The Gen Z gets no excuse. They are part of Gen Z, maybe the 27-year-olds, so only 4 years younger than me, right? But most of Gen Z gets no excuse because they spent their entire lives on the internet. I mean, I don't know why we keep giving people who have college education a pass and people who spend their entire time on the internet a pass. And by the way, most people spend their entire day on the internet. So that's why I don't give anybody a pass. Y'all be out here bitching too much for me. Y'all lie too much for me. You spend all day on the internet. They spend all this time on TikTok, all these different things. And part of the issue is a lot of information is so clickbaity and it's in such a short form that they don't get the education, not the answers, but the education that they need to go and have a better insight when they're going doing their own education. But as far as their own research, right, you go, Google something on TikTok, right? But you look up something on TikTok because that's what most Gen Zers are using, and then it's just a 1 minute thing or a quick video. But then that information is such in a short form, such in a bite size that they don't get enough information to go and research it on their own to have a better understanding when they see these things. So, I mean, I'm not a tax professional, right? Not financial advice, but you can come over here and we can go through this article and go more in depth on the tax documents that, Gen Zers need, right? That's one of the reasons we do this article. Oh yeah, shout out to whoever left the comment talking about another negative finance YouTube video or channel, whatever. We don't do negative videos on here. The articles we might cover are negative. It's, again, 25% of Gen Zers need therapists, sure, but we're going to give Gen Zers a more thorough breakdown on how to help them through this financial situation. So look, I always got time to respond to the comments. Look, I'm a millennial. All right. So Twitter, I'm a Twitter millennial. I will respond to you via text. I'm not the one. Anyways, though, let's see what these documents that Gen Zers need. This is right.